We have some huge breaking news in the NHL, and we have a couple more significant signings to discuss tonight, including TJ Brodie to the Maple Leafs and Torey Krug with the Blues. We'll discuss the details coming up next. Well, welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. Now, of course, we have some significant news tonight. Of course, I'm away from my regular studio. I am on the road at a hotel room right now, but some big news just dropped here with the St. Louis Blues announcing that they've signed Torey Krug to a mega contract here. I mean, this is quite surprising given the fact that they were reportedly trying to re-sign Alex Pietrangelo, their captain, who apparently Doug Armstrong says they are not completely done with. They're still in the mix, which is hard to believe, hard to imagine given the circumstances here. They've given Torey Krug a 7-year contract at $6.5 million per year. That's pretty significant. I do think he's well worth it. It's a great deal. Apparently Krug did not get an updated offer from the Bruins today when free agency opened. And of all the teams that were kind of reportedly interested in Krug, I did not see him going to St. Louis, given the fact, like I said, that they were trying to re-sign Pietrangelo, and that wouldn't have left enough money to do another significant signing like this. So they've also given Krug a full no-trade clause in the first 5 years and then a modified no-trade with a 15-team no list in the final 2 years of the deal as well. So that's a significant signing for St. Louis. Obviously, Krug is a guy who can play in the power play, can be a power play quarterback, drive a lot of offense from the back end. Even if Pietrangelo does depart via free agency, which seems extremely more likely at this point, that obviously the Blues, or at least on the blue line, from an offensive standpoint, will still be in excellent shape. Torey Krug can play on the left side and log some big minutes on the power play and really be a driving force there. So it's an excellent signing. Lots of value for Krug, lots of value for the Blues. I mean, we knew that some of the top players would get paid big bucks, and this is one of those prime examples. Obviously, Krug, I think, had some desire to stay in Boston, but it just wasn't going to work out. They didn't seem to have the appetite to want to pay him a significant amount of money to be one of the top players, paid-wise at least, on the team. So great deal in that sense. And, of course, we also seen the Maple Leafs have finally addressed some of their blue line needs, signing former Calgary Flame defenseman TJ Brodie to a pretty significant contract. He gets a 4-year deal at $5 million per season. So that's a $20 million deal for TJ Brodie, which is a pretty significant signing for the Leafs. TJ Brodie does get a full no-move clause in the first year of the contract, and the final 3 years there's a modified no-trade. So he does have some trade protection as well. So obviously TJ Brodie is a pretty solid defensive defenseman, often regarded as one of the better defenders around the NHL. We know the Leafs had interest in this player from some time ago. Obviously the Nazem Kadri trade last year to Calgary that ended up being vetoed by Kadri himself. Ultimately ended up having him sent to Colorado not long after, but we know that the Leafs were eyeing Brodie as the piece coming back in that trade. So he knew there was interest there from before. The Leafs are obviously had their eye on him, and Brodie's versatile too. I believe he's often played either side of the ice. So I think they can have some flexibility on what side he plays in that regard. So that'll give them some options as well. So obviously adding some guys like Muzzin before and now Brodie, that certainly makes the team tougher to play against and better defensively, which is exactly what they needed. I think the Leafs are likely going to be unloading a contract here in the coming days because with the Brodie signing, that does tie up all of their available cap space, but they do have some other things they can do in regards to some roster adjustments, and they could look to move out a salary, whether it be Andreas Janssen or possibly Alex Kerfoot or one of those other players. I mean, there was some talk they could even be shopping a bigger name, maybe even like a Nylander, but I think that's highly unlikely. Pretty doubtful that they would be, but I guess you never know. I mean, Dubas has to listen to all things that come at him here. So still no really further updates if Freddie Anderson's coming back or not. We haven't heard anything about him in a while, so I would think it's more likely that he does come back for the final year of his contract, but I guess we'll see. But that's a pretty big signing by the Leafs. Brodie's happy to be heading back to his home province of Ontario, and a great signing there. Obviously, that creates a hole in the Flames' blue line now. Of course, we saw them sign Jacob Markstrom, so they got their goaltending situation sorted out. They have Brodie and Hamonic, UFAs, on their blue line, Eric Gustafsson as well, so they now have to work on filling some holes on that side. But pretty busy day, but we didn't get too many significant signings here until later with these two deals. So some pretty significant blue liners signed to some pretty significant contracts. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and we will discuss further. So any videos you see here on the channel over the next couple of days, you're going to see me on location, different spots, because I will be on the road here for a couple of days for Thanksgiving weekend. So thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I'll catch you next time.